of colorful, I'm actually going to jump into a third character, and then we'll probably just wind up Q and let him go. But I did want to get into the character of your Gears Scorpio Squad character, Leslie Macallister, which is the most colorful member of Scorpio Squad. Um, just a little side tangent is I think that in our humble gamer opinion, the Hivebuster DLC really kind of saved Gears 5.
Oh, wow.
I
The
hated
regular
it. I
campaign,
hated it. Tell him, man. I hated Gears 5.
oh,
Story.
Really?
Story.
he
Story.
wouldn't finish the campaign. We
Wouldn't
went
finish.
through, I think, the first two acts
They
together,
killed
and he
Lizzie.
was done. And I said, "Let's play
Oh, spoilers.
Hivebusters." He goes, "I don't want to." I said, "Let's play Hivebusters. I've done it twice. You'll like it." And he jumped in, and it was like Gears 1 all over again. We were a squad. We were bantering back and forth, and so
I was
and
imitating you. I
especially
was doing
your
I
character.
was in character for Mac. That was the funny part. Is he's got to listen to me doing a Mac impression the whole time because I'm loving all his dialogue. And I played through the campaign as Mac all the way through, and I was just like, I'm sorry, Blood. So I had to throw that in because I remember that you had to sit through that, and your wife was just like, "Is that Quinn?" Because she's just hearing this Irish accent through the headphones because I'm adding dialogue. Scottish, excuse me, Scottish accent.
Scottish delivery man.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
because
I'm allowed to be wrong. I can't defend anyone. I'm black.
it's funny. I was playing ski, but it's funny
Pulling my
he had
card
mentioned
out.
even on our weekly show how much this felt like Gears compared to the main campaign of Gears
Mhm.
5. So I've got to hear your stories about your character as Mac in Gears 5.
Sure. Well, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about the Gears franchise at all. I knew it existed, but I knew nothing about it at all. The little bits that I had seen, I was like, oh, well, this is kind of like Warhammer 40K-ish. There's elements of that there. There's elements of Space Marine stuff going on, but I knew nothing about it. So when I was brought on for this one, it wasn't for Gears 5. It was for the extra, thing, the DLCs. And they had this big idea about this new squad that went in, and they were like, well, they were the Hivebusters. They go in and they get themselves intentionally captured, and then they fight their way out to destroy the thing from the inside. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So the audition that they sent me, it just said, I don't even know if it specifically, I don't even know specifically if it said that Mac was Scottish, but I was looking at the description of the character and the concept art they had for him at the time, and it, with a name like Mac, I mean, of course he's a Scot. Of course he's a Scot. And just the way, it was basically two monologues that they had. Some of the material made it into the final game, but it was mostly just, they put these sides out just to get a sense of what the character might sound like. And there was a lot of stuff in there about his past, his past as a delivery driver and stuff.
A great delivery driver.
Right. So it was just quite natural to me to see this, right? And I was like, well, I can do that because this was the very first accent I ever learned, actually, as a wee lad. So it was very natural to me. And I thought, oh, well, he seems like a wee bit of a trickster. Oh, well, I can give him a wee bit of, I can give him a wee bit of a sense of humor, but also make him a fucking badass too if I have to, right? So, they said, okay, you're the guy. And what was interesting was that the head of development at the time, he said to me when we were recording the first session, he said, when I heard your audition, he said it reminded me of when I was in school, because I think he went to Scotland for university or something. But he said it reminded me so much of some of the guys that he had known back in the old days. And I was like, oh, that's a huge compliment, actually, to know that it reminded him of the legitimate article. So that was really cool. And then, yeah, we just started doing it. And video games are weird because you don't really know what the context of anything is, because they tell you very little, mostly because they don't exactly know what the final is going to be at that point. Like, we recorded that game over the course of about 3 years, because things change so much, right? And so you'll go in, and I think the first thing I did was a bunch of effort sounds, right? Like the classic, fire, grenade, all that kind of stuff. And then it was the character stuff. And then at one point later, we went in to do the performance capture work where we did these scenes, and we were actually in the suits with the balls everywhere. And, it was really cool. It was really cool. But I will tell you that gang that I worked with, on Gears, they were the best. They were just awesome to work with. They were so much fun. Um, they were willing to again let me play, right? Like they would let me play with the character, and they would let me sort of like infuse the character with my own knowledge of like Scottish syllogisms and things like this. So it was great. It was a tremendously great experience. I just loved it.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the performance leapt off it. I mean, he kept telling me because he couldn't get me to complete the campaign because I have two favorite characters. Like it's like I love Lizzie and I loved Mac. Now, well, once I played Hivebusters. Like before that, I liked Mac, but I didn't know his story because, like you said, all I heard Mac do was pop a one-liner and go, "Ooh, ow, ouch, ow, I'm on fire, get me up, I'm bleeding," and all that. But after playing it and getting the he even said, "You're gonna love Mac," and I played Mac, and I said, "You are right," and I said, "This, I would have paid full price just for the high, but in fact, I'd pay full price for them to leave out the campaign and just have Hivebusters on it." The only good thing about the campaign is I got to meet Lizzie, but I only got to meet her for a short while. So I was
That's
actually
so
happy.
interesting because it was the very first. They sent me a copy of Gears 5 for Xbox, which I didn't have, so I had to run out and buy an Xbox so I could play this game. And so I played. I was like, "Oh, this is." Again, I knew nothing about the previous franchise whatsoever, so I was playing it. I have a hard time with the controllers. I'm an old school like keyboard and mouse guy, so these newfangled controllers, I can't wrap my brain around them. But I enjoyed it. But again, I'm not a true fan because I didn't know what came before.
The first three were very similar to Hivebusters. Like for me and Blood Axe, it was like going back to the exciting gameplay, and we were rolling, man. And I mean, we were clowning, and I'm with Mac, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make every one of these bastards pay. I was just like, I've listened to his story, and I was like, oh, my boy. Like I was like red face. He heard I was ranting about my boy when I found out. Oh wait, spoilers.
I think that snippet of Mac's backstory about his son put a lot of your dialogue in context, at least for me as a fan, through playing regular Escape, because you did seem like you were kind of reckless. At least the character was reckless and ready to go, while Keegan was a little bit more reserved and tactical. But when we played Hivebusters, well, yeah, you were a civilian. You weren't an inscripted, or you didn't sign up. So it does make a lot more sense. But seeing the development of the squad come together, we're hoping there's more Scorpio squad in Gear 6.
I want Gear 6 to just be Scorpio squad again, man. And I play Mac. I get Mac. Miss Blood Axe is going to have to play Lonnie. Well, Blood Axe can play Keegan.
Keegan.
You like Keegan, so that works. I like Keegan too, but ever since then I play Mac. Like I've been playing. I'm like, oh look, we're in Escape. Let me grab my boy. I'm gonna go in here, get this big. I also love pistols too, and I don't know how much you played of it, but his Escape build is you get the big Magnum pistol, and I'm all about that. I'm just like, yeah, that fits it. A good old Scottish boy with a big pistol sounds just right. That sounds like what it should be. But, Blacks, you got any more for Gears before we go into territory where you're not going to know what I'm talking about at all?
Well, I was going to ask Trevor, was there a favorite line that you came up with, or that for Mac, whether it be for the DLC or for Escape in general?
That I came up with? Oh boy, I don't remember. We did so many lines and so many versions and there were so many rewrites, and like I said, this was over the course of several years. Excuse me. So it's hard to remember any one thing. The thing I remember the most about the experience was doing that performance capture work with scenes. We were actually playing scenes, and you're physicalizing the scenes like an actor on a stage with other actors, which is a rare thing when you're doing voice work. But it was great. It was especially those scenes where he's talking about where you discover, he had this son that got taken and killed, and he's basically got a death wish, and he's like, come what may, I'm just gonna go in and just get myself killed because what the hell does it matter anymore?
Right.
So he's sort of a tragic figure, and I think that juxtaposes well with his sort of sense of humor. Like he's this guy cracking jokes, but he's got a death wish. He's a serious dude, you know. So I think it was great. You know, I gotta hand it to the writers and the creators. They know what they're doing. I just say the words, right? I just say the lines, so I can't really take credit for that, you know.
I almost felt like, oh, go ahead, man.
My favorite one, I can't remember all of it, and you might be able to, was about the no quit attitude.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a while ago, dude.
I love his story about gotta surprise the boy somehow. No, gotta surprise the boy on his birthday. The story of his uncle kicking a toy out the door. I was just, gotta surprise the boy on his birthday, and I was just like, all right.
Yeah, in the plane.
I hate surprises.
I'm a wee lad, and it's my birthday, and my crazy uncle or whatever it is comes over, and he says, "Here you go," and I open, and I remember that bit.
Yeah,
right, that's where he gets kicked out of the plane by Keegan right at the very end, and gives him the old double birds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I mean, and from the beginning, y'all brought those characters to life in a way that no other character, like, really got brought to life. Like on our list of characters in Gears 5, like Team Scorpio as a unit with Mac as our favorite, but all three being very well done. And then the Carmines, Lizzie and Clayton, who hasn't really had I haven't gone through the campaign, but also he managed just through his dialogue, even in matches, to just really bring out his personality. And that to me is that real difference, is when a voice actor working on what you've been given, which usually, like you said, we've talked to enough voice actors, even from Gears, to know that apparently they don't tell y'all crap. Like y'all, like you said, they're just going like, here's a rough idea what this character may be like. Go with it. Somehow y'all bring it off, man. You really inject a lot of personality. Getting it out in the fewest amount of lines, establishing a personality is really good. Just like I said, Rock Raccoon. You got a character like, I'm a raccoon with a gun. I got to find a way to make people care. Because there's a giant tree man and all this going on over here. How do I make people care what I'm saying?
Yeah.